Gender is always an issue. I think today also it is an issue, whatever said and done, because of different reasons.
Tell me, did life change after that? What was your reaction? Were you expecting it?
Lockdown was not easy. It's not easy for anybody, especially to the frontliners.
I never asked you this question personally, but today I want to take this opportunity and ask you.
And then don't get worried about things. And most of the time I see people, they'll be thinking of what to do next rather than thinking of what you have to do now.
On today's episode of Say What with Mansa for Clapboard, I have someone who constantly, with every single second, inspires others. She is somebody I call a guardian angel to a lot of people. She is a doctor par excellence, a Padma Shri awardee. She's a philanthropist. She's an influencer. She's a teacher. And also, she's a chat show host. There is nothing she can do. She dons a lot of hats and she's super fun and super sweet. That is Dr. Manjula Annagani here with me. Ma'am, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you, Manasa, for having me on your show. And it's always a pleasure talking to you.
I should tell people that we did a radio show for 1 year and you were the star of the show.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं, तुम बनाते हो दूसरों को स्टार, तू खुद तो स्टार हो.
No. Doctors se pucho, everywhere I went, everybody kept talking about it because you spoke a common man's language because you wanted to put the message across.
No, I believe in that, the lacunae basically in India and Indian healthcare, rest of it is perfect. The doctors are very good, efficiency is very good, intelligence is very good, and we think out of the box. But the lacunae is only because of awareness. So I think that's where the bridge is social media. The bridge which can close that about the thing about the difficulties between understanding the subject and the doctor would be the media. That's where the radio, whether it is print or audio or visual comes.
Yes, ma'am. I always call you a daredevil, like all the time. You're like a hero because even during the lockdown, I knew you were all our frontline warriors. All the doctors, nurses, health workers were out there. You didn't take any time off. You had your own health issues and we had to pull you back even then.
Every day, right? I never took one day off.
Yes. Anything you want to say about all the frontliners, ma'am? Because it was not easy. Lockdown was not easy for you people.
Lockdown was not easy. It's not easy for anybody, especially to the frontliners, because many frontliners have lost their job, right? Starting from 20-year-old, 16-year-old, 18-year-old, that is MBBS first-year students, Lekar. Everybody, most of the very, very stalwarts have lost their lives. And the families are affected, agreed. The way initially when people used to treat the way the doctors are untouchable was terrible. That surroundings were terrible before people could understand. Again, that's where the awareness came. But still, doctors went on doing it. There are a few who really backed off, but many 90% of the doctors went on doing it because they believe that is the purpose of becoming a doctor. So I think kudos to them, but they also know that they are the most exposed because if the chance of a person getting from another person having a virus is around, if we take it around 50%, the doctor getting it would become as high as 100% because we would be directly facing the patient and then the whole of the viral load will be them. So two factors which are very important is the viral load plus the exposure, it is going to be there with the doctors and they're hardly paid for it. And in fact, they lost the salaries, there will be 40% cut, 50% cut, but still the humanity in them has taken a front seat. So I think I'm very proud to be a doctor. I'm sure I'll be a doctor. There is nothing I can do. Nobody can take a doctor out of me. I know I keep telling people I'll retire, but I can never stop being a doctor.
No, not for a single second. With every breath, you'll always be a doctor. And you have not just chased or, adapted brilliance somewhere along the line. I think brilliance has been your best friend from the very beginning. 50th rank in the common entrance test, the scholarship student. And I'm sure back then for a girl, gender plays a major role. Would it not have been easy to achieve what you achieved at such a young age How, ma'am? How do you do all of this?
Gender is always an issue. I think today also it is an issue, whatever said and done, because of different reasons. That time, the girl was not supposed to play outside after 5 o'clock or go out and play with the boys, or so many things, not to be seen on the road talking to a boy. All this was taboo. Sitting next to a boy in a bus was a taboo. All that was there. But the girls means it is either a teacher or a doctor. That's it. At least that much was there about it in our times. Not like before when girl never went out. Yes, there was there. But the second thing is the reason why today raising a gender bias is there is because of the environmental thing which we are seeing about the sexual abuse. That was less there. Is it less spoken or is it less? But I would definitely say it was less also. We never had the exposure of that sort of sexual abuse which we are seeing in nowadays. Plus, we never had that feeling of consciousness that somebody was looking at us in a different eyes also. So I think everything kept changing. Is it because of the too much of exposure to things which we are knowing so much early? Probably. We really cannot say. That's multifactorial. But gender bias is there then, gender bias is there here. But I think everything depends on, like you said, what you want to be. If a clarity of life is there in you, that you want to be something, rest all will just give way. I strongly believe in that. And then leave the God, leave the environment, we talk about Panchabhutam, we talk about everything. Everything will definitely see that you achieve what you want to do if you are really, really so fixated on something. So whether it is good or bad is your choice. So you need to make a choice. So I took a choice when I was in 4th class. It said that I want to be a doctor. I was so much interested in knowing what is happening to the human body. So I don't know. Everything just allowed me to do what I have to do. So maybe I am destined to be there, and maybe I'm lucky. I'm born lucky. I would say that also. Hard work is very, very important. But remember, Mansa, if you take 100%, if you take total 100, 97% is definitely hard work. Okay, if you don't do hard work, if anybody says, I got into medicine just like that, I think they're all bluffing. It is not possible. Everybody has to do the hard work. But the 3% is the luck. And it is us, our attitude, our aptitude, our behavior, and our blessings by the other people is the one which will give us the 3% to make it 100%. So if you want to be 100%, your behavior will go a long way to go with it.
So true. So true. I mean, that is so inspiring. But ma'am, I know you are as humble as they come. You keep it real in the world that you are, with the kind of people you move, with the kind of work that you do, you keep it real. But I want to ask this question. Padma Shri is such a big title, such a big title. Tell me, did life change after that? What was your reaction? Were you expecting it? How did it feel? Tell me about that, please.
See, with any award, Mansa, everything, there will be added responsibility to it. I think it is always tolmol ke bol. Till that time, people expectation would be something else. And once you get an award, the expectation is going to be at a different level. So you better be careful. We have to be careful when we are giving an opinion, because people are looking up to us for certain things. So we cannot just say something lightly. So responsibility is going to come. Yes, it is a huge thing. Was I expecting? I don't think anybody would be expecting something like that. But when it happens, I'm not going to say why me, because yes, when I get so many things in life, that is because God decided I deserve it. There must be something, like I said, the blessings, all my patients' blessing. When it comes to others, we always talk about parents, we also talk about friends, sibling, and everything. But in our case, the huge factor will be patience. The patience and the blessings are the things which should really take everything. And my patience, for me, that patient satisfaction is very, very, very important. So I think for me, it is only because of that I could get whatever till now. But when it comes to that, how do the world around me change? The way they look at me has changed. Yes, yeah, definitely the way they look at me will change, but their expectations also will increase. But did I change? That I don't think I changed, because I think life is very, very, very short, and we should decide how we have to be, the way we behave with ourselves and others. And by flying in the air, definitely we are going to fall down and become pieces. By walking on the ground only, you're going to be stable and in one piece. Okay, I'm not interested in becoming multiple pieces. So I'm fine, not a split personality, a single person. The way I am, I will be.
I never asked you this question personally, but today I want to take this opportunity and ask you. I know you run a very successful charitable organization
Yeah.
called Pratyusha with Samantha Ruth Prabhu. I know what kind of work Pratyusha does. You put your heart into it. Not just that, I want to tell my viewers a story. I mean, once a cab driver who was driving me had a problem with his baby boy, not being well. I was coming to see you, and I said, "Come, let's go meet the doctor. You had his boy tested." And there are stories like that happening in your life day in and day out, day in and day out. So many people come to you. But tell me, 24 hours, is there any
Right.
time you cut off? There is no time. Does it get to you personally? Do you objectify it? How much do you objectify it, and how much does it
Sometimes,
get to you?
definitely. Sometimes, Mansa, it hits us when we cannot help people. When we hit,
Yeah.
it really touches when we help people also, when we cannot, if there is something which is not in our hands where we cannot touch people also. Like, there is this, when we are talking about Pratyusha support and what we can do, we have to be a realistic expectations of what we can do as an NGO, plus a patient's expectations of what we can do as an NGO. So when we started the whole thing about thing, we were very, very clear. We were giving a prophylactic care to kids and the women, and we were giving up a constant awareness things which were going on. But the third main important pillar has always been the financial support to the needy, depending on what they need: health, or even it's like roti kapda makan, all three. When the floods come to either Chennai or to Kerala or whatever, but most important is the health part. When it comes to health to the women and the children, we have an association with certain hospitals both in Chennai and even Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, where we do this. But when we started formulating, we have decided that nothing should be completely free, so that should not be taken it for a ride. And then that expectations, we were very, very clear. So when a patient expects my surgery is around 10 lakh and Pratyusha will support it, so I don't have to worry. That is not the way we look at. We look at how they have to take care of their health, and when anything free, they won't be taking care. Any health is something which has to be maintained. It is not one day thing. Once we correct the situation, they have to continuously maintain the health to be healthy. So 1/3 the patient pays, 1/3 the hospital gives waiver, either in form of discount or something, and 1/3 the user support gives. That's where we keep looking at. There are such cases where we take a very hard decision that we are not going to support this case. That's when we really feel, but I tell my manager, our manager, probably you can give support little, but not the whole thing, because this is not going to be out. Like, certain cases where outcome is going to be 99.9% the kid is not going to live in spite of the major risky surgery. That's when we think that, the finances can be utilized to some other 2-3 kids where it can be run. These are cases where we have to take a very devil's advocate and take a very hardcore decision about it. That's when it hurts. But yeah, we do support them in a way, but not in the full out way. But sometimes again, when the patient comes to us in the very last stage, especially in Corona times, we had seen few cases where they have come to us when the need for ECMO, we do everything. And then post-treatment also they succumb. We really feel bad. It really touches us. But at the same time, when so many patients become good and they are very happy and they bless us, that time also we are very, very happily touched. So I think it's a part and parcel of life, but luckily for us, we have more of success stories and very little of this thing. Again, here it is only because of I believe in the God up there who's been very kind to me, and I'm God's favorite child.
You do 3 things so well. You bring lives onto this earth. You save lives. You also make lives better. 3 things. I don't know if anybody has told you that.
My profession helps me in that. That's what I think. You know what, Mansa? When your passion and profession are the same, I think this is what comes out of it.
Yeah. Ma'am, for me, you're a super achiever in my mind, because, oh my God, the way you manage time, I must have told you zillion times. You do zillion things in a day. I can't keep up with it. So much energy, so many things you fit into 124 hours thing, and you make it all look so easy for us. You're always striving to be you.
You just have to split it. You just have to split it, Mansa, and then don't get worried about things. And most of the time I see people, they'll be thinking of what to do next rather than thinking of what you have to do now. That's why everything gets jumbled up, and then you get stressed. If you have a thing at 5 o'clock, think about it at 5 minutes to 5. Why are you thinking at 4 o'clock when this work is getting affected? So I think if you
Right.
have a good homework, good diary and maintain it, I'm sure everything happens. When I tell my students also, when you're preparing, you prepare, you make a timetable. Within 3 to 4, you're going to study this, study this. If anything is left over, don't allow it to go to 4 to 5. Leave it. Jo 4 to 5 karna hai, wo hi karo. So I think if you're very clear and then do exactly the way it is, whatever leftover ke liye thoda time rakho, wo leftover time pe karo. Don't allow the whole thing to be pushed off.
Right.
You got it?
Right. Yes. Yes. And do you find anything difficult at all? Does anything challenge Dr. Manjula Nagani? I want to know that because you make it look very easy for the rest of us.
I don't know. Because for me, first I say yes, then I'll come up with solutions, and somehow or the other I get solutions. And difficult. I really don't
No
know.
challenges.
I never thought about it. I never thought of anything like that. So I cannot
For
think.
a doctor, what is the biggest challenge?
I think for a doctor, it is convincing the counseling of the patient is the biggest challenge. Because everybody becomes a doctor, their knowledge is same, their knowledge is good. So it is always the expertise is there. So it is a team, interpersonal relationship, whether it is to the colleagues or with the patients. That is the more main niche. You will become a good doctor or a bad doctor, not because of your lack of knowledge. It is the way you communicate with your patient and the way, whether it is the surgery is successful or not, also the way you communicate, because it is science, it's not maths. You cannot get 1 + 1 = 2 in science. Okay, so what you have to know is how you tell the patients about pre-surgery, post-surgery, how it comes, or again with your colleagues, the way you behave with your colleagues also is equally. It's the interpersonal relationship. That is the greatest challenge for any doctor.
True. To me, this whole session is more like a motivational hour. There are two questions.
Very, very boring for all your viewers. किसके पास है? हम लोग preacher थोड़ी है और किसके पास उतना time है सुनने के लिए कि क्या बनना, क्या करना? सब लोग अच्छे हैं. Everybody, all your whole generation is clear about what they want, and they're all good at what they want.
True.
So you don't have to.
No, but we are decoding you. One is, how do you keep it real? You know, because you are one of the movers and shakers of the society, and I know how grounded you are. I know you have all the top celebrities all around you, and they are personal, they're close to you. You're so loved by all in one. You're successful, but you keep it real. You keep it humble, and you just are so grounded. This I want to know, and I want people to hear it out from you.
What do you want to listen? I am a normal human being, so naturally it'll be, I'll be grounded. What is there in that? They might be celebrities, Mansa, but I am not. I am an ordinary doctor. I mean, I'm a doctor. I'm here to help. That's it.
You're just here to do your job. You're that focused.
I do what I have to do. That's it. But one thing about me is what is here, and what I say is all one. There are no two things.
Yeah.
So, and if I say something and I close the chapter and move on, I never carry things. These are two things which I really believe in.
And another thing is your zest for life, your energy. What's the secret behind it?
I think my energy and this thing, my health, I think it is all because of my family, the way they take care of me, and my doctors, my whole gamut of doctors. I mean, people surrounding me, my students, my colleagues. I mean, I love them the way they are. They stick to me, including my cook, my driver, everybody. They just don't leave me. So they don't allow me to do anything else. So they all love me. I think that itself shows in my energy. That's it.
And also, I have been very curious about one trivial thing. One trivial question I want to ask you. What does a patient do to annoy you? When a patient comes, what sort of questions or what do they do that gets to you?
See, I'll really tell you, I always tell patients also, you do your research before coming to a doctor, and you come to a doctor for a solution, not a problem. So stop asking, what is my problem? What is my problem? You ask the doctor, they'll put a diagnosis. You read about it. You go to here and do your Google search after the diagnosis is made. You don't self-diagnose yourself. Doctor will make a diagnosis, read about it. Don't ask about the diagnosis. Ask them about solution. So doctor is there to give solutions, not to give you problem. That is the first point I want to tell. Second, always when they come to a doctor, they'll always ask about, even if we write a B complex, do you have a side effects for it? You go and eat in a restaurant, you never ask about what oil is used, what is the side effect of the oil they're using or anything. But when a doctor writes, when a multivitamin, Side effects तो नहीं है ना, किसी के साथ कुछ नहीं होगा ना. These are the two things which really annoy me. And the third thing which annoys me is they think that human body is existing without any hormones. First thing they will say is hormones. अम्मा वो अच्छी बात नहीं है, हम लोग hormones नहीं लेंगे. What they have to understand is there's a balance in the body which is needed. Imbalance causes diseases. Hormonal balance is essential. And a diamond only cuts a diamond. So hormonal imbalance is corrected by hormones only. So these are three things I want people to understand. One, don't go to the doctor for a problem, but for a solution. Okay. Second, hormones are not dangerous. A human being is human only because of hormones. Okay. Right. And the third thing, like I told just now, it is about asking about side effects. Don't stop asking. But if a drug causes you any allergy or side effect, please remember, put down in your book and write next time, say that particular group don't take. Okay. So these are things which I think everybody should understand.
You made a mental note of it.
I'm a teacher, no? I have the habit of repeating. Understood? Okay. Get 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Now, what is there which is left to achieve? I want to know because you know pretty much.
So much is there. So much is there in life. What we did is nothing. Nothing. We have so much more to do. What can we do?
How was it? How was it turning into a chat show host? I got interviewed by you. I
loved it because, you know, not now, long back when the radio started coming back, only people used to, you talk so much. I think you should go into radio also. They used to tell me that because I love talking. I am like, I talk to everybody around me. Silence is something which I cannot tolerate. So I talk to patients. I talk to everything. Communication is the only way which keeps us alive. If we cannot either with eyes or with mouth or anything. Communication is something, it's a two-way channel and we have to keep it open. So I talk. I love talking. So that's how the In Conversation started. And Know Your Health with Manjula Nagani started just because we thought, like I said, awareness is something which people have to know. And there's a lot of false awareness which goes on, which they believe it is true. That's how the channel Know Your Health with Manjula Nagani started. And in that, In Conversations, that is Manasulo Mata, has started. And luckily, most of my friends have agreed to come on the show, including you. And that's how we could do it.
No, but it's a grand success and it's for a good cause. People should go check it out as well. It's for a good cause and it's coming out so well, so interesting. And you are a great host. I am scared for my job. You know,
don't worry. I told you my passion is only medicine. So I'm not going to do anything else. It's just.
No, I'm just saying. But I also want to know this, ma'am. It's like, you know, you have a photographic memory.
Yes, I agree. That's again, I said, no, I'm God's favorite child.
I know. And for me, I'm a Bhulakkad number one.
I agree.
What happens at work when people keep forgetting things left, right, and center around you and you remember everything?
That is a problem. That is a problem with the colleagues. That is a problem with patients and everything. It happens. Sometimes we also have to behave as if we don't remember. That is an art, which is very difficult, you know, very difficult. You remember and the other person behaves as if nothing has happened. Then I said, yeah. Okay, it's okay. It's like that. But it happens. So many times it happens. It's not once that we remember everything and they forget, but it is human to forget. That we have to understand. And I think we cannot expect everybody to be like me. I agree to that. Nobody can be, you're unique in that thing. You cannot become the other person. But then what happens is when you are something, you expect the other person to be at least, you know, idiocy and stupidity is something which we cannot tolerate after a particular level. And I am like that. So I didn't want that to affect my relationship with my daughter. So right from LKG, nursery, I put a tuition teacher because if tuition teacher says something, she will listen. If I say something, she doesn't listen. And if she cannot repeat what I'm saying, I might get irritated at my own daughter. So I didn't want that. So I think certain precautions I took because, which is very dangerous to have such a memory also. It's a double-edged sword. Remember. Trust me, it's a double-edged sword.
Oh. No, I'm sure. Yeah, like you said, it will have both, you know, sides to it. But ma'am, I want to ask this because when you're in a medical profession, another problem is a lot of people have fear of doctors, of treatment, of medicine. There is stigma.
Trust.
You know, they think, okay, if I
And
go
trust
there,
is
they
not
think I
there.
have a big business. Ma'am?
Trust is not there. Nowadays, they have lost trust on the
Yes.
doctors.
What do you want to say to them? Because there is also stigma attached to it. If I go and get tested, maybe people will think I have a big disease. You know, that's the fear and stigma attached to it.
Yeah.
What do you want to
First
say
thing
to
I
people?
have to tell you, doctors, like I already told you, doctors are not here for problems. The doctors do not give diseases. They only let the diseases come out at an early state where it is treatable. So first of all, if you're not interested in going to a doctor, don't go. Go for master health checkups at least. Yearly one health checkup where baseline tests are done, which will pick up anything in an early stage. Please make it a thing to do a preventive health check every year. Once you cross 40 years, every year. And if it's a woman, please do from 30 years itself self-breast examination. And if there is any problem, just go to the doctor. Going to a doctor is not going to give you diseases. Remember that. But you have to choose your doctor, correct? That I totally agree. You have to do your own homework before going to a doctor and trust them. But once you go to them and leave it to them, the doctor always look at what is the best for the patient. So I think people have to understand, forget this, there's no stigma, there's nothing. And it's the relationship between a doctor and a patient is very, very precious. And it is very, the word I'm missing, but anyway, it is something which is sacred is a word, and it will never cross. The conversation is between them itself. No doctor talks about that patient to including to their spouses or even family members without the patient being present. So trust your doctor and then leave it to them. That's what I would say.
Faith is so important. Faith is so important. I want to know this. Where do you find peace? In what do you find peace when you sit
when I
and
laugh
say, okay,
at small things, Mansa, I am like it. When I see this, My Cousin Vinny or something like that, my favorite movies, or I love Jandiala movies in Telugu. It's like that. Whenever I see that, and it's small things, I start laughing in front of the TV. That is something I love to do. And by spending time with my daughter, my friends, my brother, all these things, no? And we all sit, my teammates, we all sit and have lunch together. That's one ritual we do in the afternoon in the hospital. And whenever we all meet and we all have small parties, we have this Antakshari going on. People sing songs. I love listening to music, continuous music in the OP and even the operation theater. It is like a meditation to me. Music is meditation to me. So I love that.
So I love your life because it is so well-rounded and wholesome. You know what I mean? Now I want to play a quick rapid fire round with you, if that's okay. Yeah. One movie you've seen so many times because it's your favorite movie.
One is Geetanjali.
My favorite. Song that you listen to a lot, ma'am.
Jab Bhi Met Ka Gana, Rasta.
Oh,
I love.
One character trait you let go of when you became a doctor.
I'm always the same naughty. I talk so much and everything. One trait which I lost. Maybe playing on the roads. Because till I enter my medicine, I was on the trees. I was jumping from one house to the other house. I was getting onto trees and plucking mangoes and everything. Till my inter. Okay. I was like a tomboy, literally. Even after that, I'm a tomboy. But still, I never climbed on trees after that. That much.
I miss climbing on trees too. Now, one character trait you had to, adapt once you became a doctor.
I think, like we always spoke about, when my mind is racing, I'm very fast. My understanding of things are so fast, like a million times faster than another person. So mellowing down is something people keep telling slow. You don't expect the other person to understand you. So I have to come down to the level of patient to make her understand. That is something, yes, which I adapted. Otherwise, I expect the other person to understand. And unfortunately, my sister and me, our wavelengths are so good. Before the third person who sits in between us will go mad. She will be talking, I'll be talking. Only we both understand what we are talking. The other person don't understand because we are like, one word, the sentence is understood. So that is something I had to do when I became a doctor, that, okay, please talk in full sentences and see that the other person understands. That is a patient understands.
Right. Who is your favorite kind of patient, ma'am?
I have lots of patients who are my favorites. They are there like from last 25 years, they've been my patients. But I love my patients when they really trust and leave it to me. And then they say, in fact, I've been lucky. All my patients, most of my patients have always said, do what you think is the best for me. So when that is given, we use our brains. The responsibility is ours. They come and tell that, do this to me. That can be told to a carpenter. That can be told to a plumber, not to a doctor. You have to tell the doctor, do what is the best for me. Because each individual is different. Each 5 fingers are different. Everybody is different. Every patient is different. So what is good for you might not be good for the other patient. So I love a patient who says, you understand my case and do what is the best for me.
What does success mean to you, ma'am, if you have to put it in one line?
Satisfaction. That is it. If I'm satisfied with what I'm doing, that is success to me. If I might get money in something, like example, some ad or something, if somebody is doing it, it might get you money. But if you're not satisfied because that's a product you're not going to like it, that won't give me. The same way, if I'm told to do a surgery which the patient does not need, I won't do it. I'm against such things. So money you might get, but for me, success is satisfaction.
One superpower you would want?
Disappearing here and appearing somewhere else. From childhood also I wanted to do traffic and all. I hate taking time in the roads and everything. I should think if I have to go to somewhere, okay, and then the track. I don't want disappearing act or anything. I just have to reach places in seconds like this.
When you look at young kids these days, the so-called millennials, what do you think they're doing wrong? One thing, if you have to say, they're doing wrong.
Not wrong, but one thing is they're very clear about what they don't want, but they're not clear about what they want. So they're experimenting and all. They feel the whole life is in front of them. They're immune and they're like lots of time is there, but unfortunately, time is not there, which we have to understand. Time is like it's a it's a smaller thing, and it is unpredictable thing is time. So understanding and doing it is the only thing I want to. But otherwise, they're very intelligent. The generation is super intelligent. They have so many hopes, but they're not clear about what they want to do because they want to. They're still experimenting. They have the choice. We didn't have the choice.
Right. Now you have always been this force of positivity. I mean, look at your answers are so positive. Before I let you go, if you have to give a message to whoever is watching this right now, what do you want to say?
No, I think people are tired of messages. I don't want to give any message. One thing I will definitely tell is be happy. Never compromise with happiness. Just do whatever you feel happy. That's it.
Just be happy. Have fun.
Just be happy. Fun or not is different. If you're happy jumping from one mountain to other, it might not be fun for others, but it might be fun for you. So you be happy.
Now, I want you to be always happy, and I know you will do a damn good job of it, being happy. And I want you to know you set an example, whether you do it purposely or not, but you are an example that we all follow. And I know you'll be the best doctor, always, always, always. And I want you to wear more and more hats. I'll be there to interview you for the next 20 years every time you do something new. But thank you so much.
बहुत लंबा रास्ता है रे, वो तब तक तो जिंदा रहना ना, देखेंगे.
आप होगा मैम वो, आप
देखेंगे, मिलेंगे, मिलते रहेंगे, देखेंगे.
But thank you so much, for being a part of my show, and it was a great conversation. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Comment, share, like, subscribe to Clapboard Production.
Hi, this is Vijay Devarkonda. Please subscribe to Clapboard Production.
Hi guys, this is Ed Visesh. Subscribe to Clapboard.
Hi everybody, this is Rashmi. Subscribe to Clapboard.
Hello everyone, I'm Nandini. Please subscribe to Clapboard.
Don't forget to subscribe to Clapboard.
This is Vishwa. Subscribe to Clapboard.
Please to subscribe on Clapboard.
This is Nitya Shetty. Subscribe to Clapboard.
Please subscribe to Clapboard.
Hello, this is Sandeep Reddy Vanga. Please subscribe Clapboard.
Please subscribe Clapboard.
Hi guys, name me Hemachandra. Please do subscribe to Clapboard.
Hi, I'm writer Prasanna Kumar Bezwada. Please subscribe to Clapboard Productions.
Subscribe to Clapboard Productions.